今年以来
Since this beginning of this year, the heads of state of China and US have had 2 telephone conversations and talks in Anchorage and Tianjin. Director Yang Jiechi as well as State Councilor Wang Yi also talked with Secretary Blinken by phone, and Vice Premier Liu He had phone conversations with Trade Representative Catherine Tai and the Treasury Secretary Yellen, and the U.S. Climate Change Special Envoy Kerry also paid 2 visits to China. Officials in other areas are also in contact and communication. No matter in off record or publicly, the U.S. side said this communication and dialogue is candid, conducive, and constructive. China made its position clear. It put forward the 2 lists and 3 bottom lines. These are all fundamental and substantial problems in China-US relations. We hope the U.S. can respond in a serious and earnest manner, but we haven't seen any in this regard. China is always serious and earnest about the dialogue and communication with the U.S. side. This is consistent and clear-cut. We welcome dialogue and communication, but only with mutual respect. We support coordination and cooperation, but only for mutual benefit and win-win results. And we oppose the U.S. playing ploys or tricks before or after the talks and make provocations or slandering, even engage in the megaphone diplomacy or resorting to sanctions and such threats. It wants to gain the so-called position of strength via maximum pressuring in a condescending way, but Chinese will never buy that. And second, it wants to interfere in others' internal affairs and harm others' interests, but on the other hand, wants others to do it favor on issues of its own concern. This will never do. The U.S. refuses to correct its own bullying practices. On the other hand, it made false accusations against China and even slander China's justified behaviors to defend its own security and interests as assertiveness and no intention for serious or substantial talks. This is typically blame shifting. Why would the U.S. expect China to grin and bear all these accusations and slanders? The 2 heads of states had 2 telephone conversations on the eve of Chinese Spring Festival and September 10th. They reached positive consensus on returning bilateral relations to the track of healthy and steady development. President Biden also reiterated that the U.S. will remain committed to the One China policy, among others. China will continue to follow the spirit of the telephone call between the 2 heads of states to advance the communication and dialogue between the 2 sides and work for the development of bilateral relations. But we also hope the U.S. will match its words with deeds and meet China halfway to implement the relevant commitments as well as the spirit of the 2 heads of states.